Quality control titans Lil Baby and the Migos have carried the label to great acclaim over the last decade, but who would have known that these rap giants potentially had beef amongst one another? Competition between artists battling for a #1 spot is nothing new in the rap game, but it's very rare that the rivalry turns into sneak disses and supposed actions being taken against one another outside of the music sphere. Being on the same label doesn't seem to be enough to establish peace between some of the most influential artists in the rap game, and also doesn't seem to be enough to stop them from getting physical. Iconic rap group the Migos and hip-hop star Lil Baby are both signed to Quality Control Records, aka QC, which was established in 2013 by Raps Coach K and Pierre, respected Atlanta names in hip-hop. QC would go on to sign and work with a lot of the industry's top names like Cardi B, City Girls, and Lil Yachty, all having worldwide success at the height of their careers and still very much relevant today in rap circles. Quality Control boasts a great name amongst its competitors in the rap sphere, often finding themselves at the forefront of discussion about success with their artists. Not many labels with such a family-sized number of artists can normally do the numbers that QC has managed to do, even capitalizing off their success to drop Quality Control tapes featuring the most prominent members and features from the biggest names in rap. Migos preceded all of these acts, however, and helped blow up the label, dropping classic projects such as Culture and a bunch of critical singles like Versace, later going on to feature Drake. Migos and its three familial members, Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff, became synonymous with Atlanta rap with songs like Bad and Bougie featuring Lil Uzi Vert, Motorsport, Fight Night, and Look at My Dab, all doing big numbers in the rap game. The Migos were definitely the ones who scripted the culture with their signature triplet type flow and bouncy beats. The world was looking forward to every Migos drop. However, shortly after the release of the hyped Culture 2, a project expected to match the success of Culture 1, the project didn't manage to do as well as they would have expected and hoped, despite the notable features and wicked beats. This prompted the members of the Migos to focus on their solo careers for a bit, before collabing once more in 2021, dropping Culture 3, which, like Culture 2, had a lot of hype behind its release, but debuted at #2 behind Polo G's Hall of Fame. On their solo ventures, the most successful out of the three would undoubtedly be Offset. Offset made a lot of moves before the time of Culture 2, one being marrying and having children with superstar Cardi B and finding himself in hip-hop news almost daily due to drama about cheating, gaming, and getting into bad accidents. On his solo project Father of Four, he found himself showing the world a different side of the Migos member. He explained how his world had changed due to all that has happened to him and what motivates him to be great. Offset was also beloved by the hip-hop community because of his unexpected dance skills, giving more personality to the artist than we were able to establish from him back when he was the third of a larger collective. Offset found himself featuring on a lot of notable tracks like Kodak's ZZ, Gucci Mane's Megala, and so on and so forth. Offset proved to the world that he could stand up on his own 2 feet in the rap game and thrive if he had to. While it seemed the culture was preparing to leave the Migos behind, the culture had adopted and served 4PF's Lil Baby, who has grown to immeasurable heights in the past 4 or so years. Lil Baby has seen monumental growth as an artist and an icon in the rap game, being denoted as your favorite rapper's favorite rapper. His dedication to the rap sphere is present in all of his tracks, beginning with the debut studio album Harder Than Ever in 2018 after the success of singles My Dog and a Drake collab on Yes Indeed. Lil Baby seemed to have the golden touch, collabing with friend Young Thug and partner in crime Gunna on multiple projects that soared to the top of the charts consistently, most notably the joint project Drip Harder between himself and Gunna, later dropping My Turn, a solo project that managed to stay on top of the charts with both its standard and deluxe releases, giving more legitimacy to Lil Baby's supremacy in the rap game. The man seemed to be able to mesh with any artist he came into contact with while still demanding the respect he deserved. Speaking of respect, shortly after the George Floyd protests and the aftermath of riots in response to the lack of justice, Lil Baby dropped the Grammy-nominated track The Bigger Picture, showing support for Black Lives Matter and taking a stand when it requires, despite the onset of COVID-19. Lil Baby is not only loved by the streets that he claims, the hip-hop culture that he has transfigured, but the current presidential administration. Lil Baby was invited to the White House by current Vice President Kamala Harris to meet one another and sing praises for his involvement in leading the youth and being a role model of good morals. Lil Baby would go on to drop a collab project called The Voice of the Heroes with OTF's Lil Durk, who has also seen a lot of commercial success over the past few years, creating the culture's new powerhouse duo, speaking on and to the streets. We believe that the two factions don't mess with one another by seeing the responses of the artists during interviews when they're asked about one another. In an interview following the George Floyd riots and the incredibly impactful track The Bigger Picture, interviewers would go on to ask the general rap public what they felt about the song and Lil Baby. Once the questions came to the Migos, however, there seemed to be a laugh from all of the members, then a hasty response to each question afterward. Lil Baby has gone on to even say that despite them being signed to the same label, they don't really talk with one another by any degree, and that's why they don't collab on individual tracks. Some others believe it's due to the streets of Atlanta not embracing the Migos as much as they embraced Lil Baby as of late. This could be due to the fact that Lil Baby was coming out of the same Atlanta hood as culture mover Young Thug, who gave the Grammy-nominated rapper some of his first cosigns, alongside Gucci Mane, who unfortunately found himself in prison shortly after. Young Thug and Gucci Mane have had widely successful hip-hop careers, so it makes sense that their names would have held a lot of weight and makes it a huge deal for them to co-sign any artist. The beef between Migos and Lil Baby seems to have escalated to new heights once news of an altercation between Offset and Lil Baby's camp at Lil Baby's release party for My Turn supposedly resulted in Offset being stripped to his boxers and beaten outside. Some videos were released where you couldn't really make anything out of the situation besides the names of the people being said. Both camps would go on to wholly deny this altercation happened for whatever reason, maybe because it was bad business for the label and both teams' individual brands as three artists, or maybe because it was a misunderstanding and the story was exaggerated and what was believed to have happened actually never did. Fans would go on to use the artist's social media and song lyrics to try to uncover the story. Lil Baby, after the Battle of the Platforms fight headlined by Austin McBroom and Bryce Hall, both camps were on the scene and performed at one point. The crowd was not necessarily feeling Migos' performance according to sources, resulting in Twitter clowning the Atlanta rapper. Lil Baby then made an Instagram post saying, "Ain't nothing but a little bit of straightening," a direct call about Migos' latest single at the time, causing fans to think he was hopping onto the clowning train, bringing some legitimacy to the idea that the two camps were beefing. When Culture 3 dropped, Takeoff had the following bars: "Call him a baby boy cause he got put in a headlock." Now this could have just been a misinterpreted lyric, as it's a direct call to the movie Baby Boy where the protagonist was put in a headlock. However, on the track titled Modern Day, an even more cryptic lyric was said when Takeoff stated, "If I got a plate, you know that he ate. I'm too blessed, so one thing I can't do is hate. I like what you're doing, just humble yourself and know that we were the ones who opened the gate." This bar basically outlining how the success of Lil Baby's was in part due to their previous success on the QC label, giving Lil Baby and all later QC artists the resources and tools that they needed to succeed in the game. Both camps haven't really spoken on their supposed beef and would like to have the general public believe that it's all made up by the fans pitting them against one another. We know as rap fans that there are pros and cons to beef in the rap sphere, and that maybe their label had decided that they were better off silencing the beef for the sake of the QC brand. Quality control has its ups and downs in the past couple of years, some problems stemming from the Migos artists themselves claiming that they were getting the short end of the deals at the time, prompting them to sue the management and teams, which indirectly put QC in bad light. A recording label's worst nightmare is to have one of the biggest acts on the label practically say that they were unhappy because they were being robbed of what was owed to them. After these accusations, it seemed that the Migos camp and QC came to an agreement where both sides came out happy, having culture artists claiming the QC label once again and continue to work alongside them to this day.